Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day, where we continue with our recitation from the composition of Kabir Ji, Bhagat Kabir Ji, in the rag Asa, and these are compositions in the format of ik-tuke. And the subject is essentially Sarapani. The refrain is Sarapani, which literally means serpent. And Kabirji is talking about what we refer to as serpent power, which is a reference to Maya, as well as Kundalini in the yogic system. So evidently, this is addressed to practitioners of Tantra or Yoga, because the terminology is very much the sort of terminology that they're at home in. So let's examine the passage line by line. It begins, Asa ik-tuke Sarapani te Upar Nahin Balia, Jin Brahma Bisan Mahadeo Chaleya. So Sarapani te Upar is above. Sarapani te Upar, above the serpent, meaning there is nothing higher, nothing bigger in terms of power. Nahi Balia, Bal, strength, power. So the serpent power is supreme. Jin Brahma Bisan Mahadeo Chaliya. So this power has a hold even on the gods. Even they are controlled and rather deceived by it. So as I said, Sarapani within the Indian context is a symbol for the world of phenomena that we live in, as well as the Kundalini in the yoga system, which refers to the supreme power that is within the human body. And it is called a Kundalini because it lies dormant like a coiled snake, kundal, coil, at the base of the spine. Kabirji is using the term in both senses interchangeably. And they both actually signify this sense of Maya, which is better explained in terms of being the feminine principle of reality, the world of phenomena, which is deceptive. That is why the word Chalya is used. It is the force that creates, it's deceptive. Why? Because it creates the perception of separate and distinct realities for us. It gives us our separate I sense. So it is a veil that hides the nature of true reality. Now the Vedantic systems, Vedanta for example, views this Maya as a complete illusion. But Sikhi does not view it as an illusion along with the Tantric systems or the Buddhist systems. It is not an illusion. It is real. And that is something that even Guru Nanak alluded to in Asa Ki War, where he said, Sache tere khand, Sache Brahmand. So your parts and pieces, khand, what has been broken, are real. So the divergence amongst Indian school of thought is whether or not this is an illusion. In Sikhi, Maya is the form of the formless. It's real, but it is ephemeral, meaning it is impermanent, it is transient. And the allure of this Maya, it is very tempting and mesmerizing. When you get allured by it, it is as if you are stung by the poison of a snake. In other words, it hallucinates the mind. And the hallucination here is the idea of a separate self. But Kabirji makes it clear to the tantric or the yogi that he seems to be addressing that the way of Sikhi is the way of self-knowledge that comes from practice that is different from what the the tantrics or the yogis are trying to do. They're both trying to get to the same place, if you will, but with a very fundamental difference in terms of the ego. One system is enhancing the ego, personal mastery. The other is emptying itself of the ego. So in the next line, in the Rahau, this is the pause. Here Kabirji explains to us how this Maya is to be annexed. How do you overcome this? How do you actually apply the antidote to the poison of the serpent power? Because you are hallucinating. What you have to do is use it, but with awareness. So he says, Mar Sarapani, Nirmal Jal Paithi, Jin Tribhavan Dasiyale, Guru Prasad Diti. So the first part of the sentence says, Mar Sarapani, Nirmal Jal Paithi. Jal here has a sihari. So what that means is through the nirmal water, through the pure water. Here, pure water means wisdom. Through, by cleansing it. Let's first do the literal meaning. Mar Sarapani Nirmal Jal Paithi. So it personifies death. It devours everything. Mar Sarapani. But it is subdued by the water of Naam. And the serpent power tinges, it touches all existence, all the three words, Jini Tribhavan Dasiyale. It can be understood through Guru wisdom. So Mar is the key here. The tantrics or the yogis use the word maran, from maran. Maran is an alchemical process. It is alchemy that chemists use to reduce metal, to incinerate metal, specifically mercury, to a fine ash or oxide, pasam, so that it can be consumed in small quantities with beneficial effects, and it is used in medical preparations. So when mercury is killed, it loses its fluidity, density, luster, and brilliance, but tantric alchemy attributes fantastic powers of transmutation to this mercury, which it identifies as vritta bhasma. So what Kabirji is saying is, it is not through your alchemical process, but through self-wisdom that we can actually control the maran, which is mercury. Jin Trivivan Dasiyale, Dasiyad, that which tinges or has devoured the worlds, can be understood or controlled through the gur. There is a method for us. That's the key to understand. And then Kabir goes on to say, Sarapani, kya kaho pai? Brother, why do you constantly dwell on the serpent? So you see, Kabir and is trying to tell, the yogi is obsessed with the material world in order to control it, but having trouble. Kabir is saying you need to look beyond it to control it. How? Jin sach pachhanaya tin sarapani khai. The way to dissolve this, the impact of this Maya, is to understand the truth of your own nature, and the truth of how this Maya operates, and how do you control it? How do you use it? You have to become skillful. Sarapani de aan chuj nahi avara. All forms are informed by this Mayic power. The world of form, as I said earlier, is actually Maya. So there is nothing that is without Maya that you can see or perceive. Sarapani jiti kaha kare jamara. So if you can see, if you can control this Maya, you have essentially controlled death. By that is meant you have seen through what death is. Not the end of life, not the culmination of life, but the beginning of another phase of life. And you are no longer terrified. ए सरपनी ताकी कीती होए बल abal kya tiste hoye. So in itself, it has no bal, no strength, nor is it impotent. Its potency comes from Israpni Taki, that one creator. It gets its force from that creator. E basti ta basat sarira. It resides in the body. Guru Prasad Sahaj Tare Kabira. It is accessed without having to fight with it. Through Sahaj. Sahaj is both the method as well as the condition, the state of mind. The state of mind there is completely relaxed, spontaneous. It no longer is differentiated. It perceives undifferentiated reality. It sees the unity behind all diversity. So this is Kabir's instruction to the yogis. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.